Dear students, welcome to today's English class. Today, we are going to see Coursebook Unit 2, Section 2, Grammar. We have articles and reflexive pronouns. Let's use grammar. Articles. As you know, a, an, and the are known as articles. A and an are called indefinite articles, while the is called the definite article. The indefinite articles are used only with a singular noun. For example, a tree, an axe. With a plural noun or an uncountable noun, we use some. For example, some trees, some water. The definite article goes with both singular and plural nouns as well as with the uncountable nouns. For example, the tree, the spirits, the water. Use a, an, or the where necessary. Put an into mark where none of this is required. In this activity, a passage is given. Once upon dash time, there were large forests in dash India where numerous kinds of trees grew. As the population increased, dash people began cutting down trees and using them as dash fuel. We thus lost dash lot of our forest wealth. Now we are trying to replace this loss, and our government is planting trees all over dash country. We celebrate dash unusual festival in honor of dash trees. It is called Vana Maholsava or dash forest festival. On this day, we plant dash number of new trees. Dash neem tree in front of our classroom was planted by dash school gardener on dash first Vana Maholsava festival. Dash tree is now tall and shady. In this paragraph, I will do there are two paragraphs, and I will do first paragraph for you. Next, there is one more activity that you have to do. You don't worry, it's very simple activity. You can answer this activity in the textbook itself. Answer key of the same I will send you later. The purpose of sending answer key to cross check the answers which you have written are correct or not. So now we are going to see the first paragraph of first activity, A1. We'll see the answers. Once upon a time, there were large forests in India where numerous kinds of trees grew. As the population increased, people began cutting down trees and using them as fuel. We thus lost a lot of our forest wealth. Now we are trying to replace this loss, and our government is planting trees all over the country. In here you can notice, first we used the indefinite article a, and next three instances no need of any kind of articles, and again we used the indefinite article a, and the last blank we have used the definite article the. Following this example, read and understand the next paragraph, and the second activity also of same sort. You have to read it, that is on Trojan horse. What was the Trojan horse? Dash story of dash Trojan horse was told in dash poem called dash Iliad. by dash Greek poet Homer. Greeks and Trojans were at dash war for some years. In 1200 BC, Greeks stopped besieging dash city of dash Troy and apparently disappeared, leaving behind the dash huge wooden horse. At night, while dash Trojans slept, dash the Greek soldiers who had been hiding inside dash horse slipped out from inside it, killed dash Trojan guards and led dash waiting Greek soldiers inside dash city. Soon dash Troy was destroyed. Although dash city of Troy did exist and dash war did take place, and dash legend of dash Trojan horse may be just that, dash legend. Only after supplying these simple, definite or indefinite articles, then only this passage will become meaningful. You kindly try to do that. Now we move to the next part, that is reflexive pronouns. What is reflexive pronouns? Reflexive pronouns shows that the action of the verb in the sentence affects the person who performs the action. I shall once again repeat the definition of reflexive pronouns. A reflexive pronoun shows that the action of the verb in the sentence affects the person who performs the action. After seeing the examples, it will be clear for you. In the sentence, Roald hurt himself. Himself is a reflexive pronoun and refers back to the subject Roald. We will see reflexive pronouns are a group of pronouns that are formed by adding the suffix self or selves to personal pronouns. We see here first person, myself and ourselves. Myself is singular, whereas ourselves is plural. I cooked all the dishes myself. We had to look after ourselves when mom and dad were out of town. Second person, yourself is singular and yourselves is plural. Don't be angry with yourself. It was not your fault. Please clean up after yourselves after you finish your art project. Now we see third person, himself, herself, itself, themselves. He made this model of a drone all by himself. He should win a prize at the science fair. Good job. My dog can climb the dining table by itself now. We try not to leave out any food. Now we have an activity there in your textbook. Fill in the blanks with the reflexive pronouns myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, or themselves. The first one has been done for you. Have you noticed how Biju keeps looking at himself in the mirror? 2. She had to force dash to eat. Can you repair this iron or must we do it? Did you cut your hair? Salil and Anjali are helping Dash to the samosas. I'm teaching Dash to use the computer. You will need photographs of Dash for your passports. My brother's finance company has got Dash into difficulties. We really enjoy dash at the party. Jagadit is disabled but he can dress. Among these 10 questions, the first one is already done in the textbook and I will do 2 and 3 also for you. She had to force herself to eat. 3. Can you repair this iron or must we do it ourselves? The rest of the questions you may try. These are very simple to do. The next interesting activity, let's enrich our word store. Look at the following words: agile, furry, scaly, feline and slow. These words are sometimes used to describe animals. Use a dictionary and say which of them can be applied to the following animals. These are some adjectives which normally used with the animals. In order to know which adjective will go with which animal or which noun, we must know the specialities of those animals and the meaning of these adjectives. Definitely you have to make use of a dictionary. Kindly refer the dictionary and find out what qualities these adjectives talks about, and a box is provided. Fill in the blank columns in the table below with a tick or an into mark. Some of the answers have been provided. Deer. Deer is an agile. And towards scaly it is marked an into mark, which is not scaly. Then for turtle it is not furry. Turtle don't have a furry fur. Then lion is also not scaly. I hope, dear students, you will do it. Don't worry, I will send you an answer key later. Then you can cross-check the answers you have done in the textbook are correct or not with the help of the answer key that I will be sending to you. The next activity is study these phrases. These are some phrases are given there. Look at somebody or something. Look after somebody or something. Look for somebody or something, or look into something. Look through somebody or something. You have to go through dictionary. Just one entry that will come under the verb look. Kindly go through the dictionary entry and find out the meaning of these things, and which will help you to do this activity. After finding out the meanings, you can do this activity. Here in the video, I will do 2 for you. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5 you have to do. Abhishek dashed his notes before his examination this morning. Kamala's finger is badly swollen. I think the doctor ought to dash it. Who will dash the baby girl which her mother is in the hospital while her mother is in the hospital? The principal has received the complaint and she is dash it. Potina, she has been dashed a job since last year. Now, as I have told you, the answers for 1 and 2. Abhishek looked through his notes before his examination this morning. 2. Kamala's finger is badly swollen. I think the doctor ought to look at it. The next activity is a very interesting activity. This is a listening task. An audio will be played for you. You have to listen to that audio and please do it in the textbook. Answer it in the textbook itself. Your teacher will read out or play an audio of an interesting text about an unusual animal, the lemming. Listen to her carefully and tick the right choice below. As she reads out the text a second time, you can check your answers. Definitely, I will play the audio 2 times in this video itself. You have to do this activity now itself and after, and check your answers when the audio is played in the second time.
Have you ever heard about a very unusual animal called the lemming? You'd never see a lemming in countries like India and Nepal because it lives only in very cold parts of the world. You'd find lemmings in Northern Europe, for example, in countries like Norway and Denmark, which have a cold climate. The lemming is not a very handsome animal. It is small, and looks rather like a rat. But the lemmings have one strange habit which makes them very different from rats, or for that matter, any other animal. Once in every few years, the lemmings leave their homes in the mountains and start traveling. They cross fields and woods, and they swim across streams and rivers until, after several months of traveling, they reach the sea. The sea, however, does not make them stop. They jump in and start swimming, and they keep swimming until at last they are so tired that they have to stop swimming. And then, of course, they drown. Hundreds and thousands of lemmings drown in this fashion. Some people say that they commit suicide. But is that true? Scientists believe that the lemmings start moving when their population increases so much that there isn't enough food for all of them. They move in search of new places to live in, where they can find food. When they reach the sea, they jump in and start swimming, because they think it is only another river to cross. And then, of course, they find that this river is much bigger than any of the others they have crossed before. They get tired and stop swimming and drown. The poor lemmings. Have you ever heard about a very unusual animal called the lemming? You'd never see a lemming in countries like India and Nepal because it lives only in very cold parts of the world. You'd find lemmings in northern Europe, for example, in countries like Norway and Denmark, which have a cold climate. The lemming is not a very handsome animal. It is small and looks rather like a rat. But the lemmings have one strange habit which makes them very different from rats, or for that matter, any other animal. Once in every few years, the lemmings leave their homes in the mountains and start traveling. They cross fields and woods, and they swim across streams and rivers until, after several months of traveling, they reach the sea. The sea, however, does not make them stop. They jump in and start swimming, and they keep swimming until at last they are so tired that they have to stop swimming. And then, of course, they drown. Hundreds and thousands of lemmings drown in this fashion. Some people say that they commit suicide. But is that true? Scientists believe that the lemmings start moving when their population increases so much that there isn't enough food for all of them. They move in search of new places to live in, where they can find food. When they reach the sea, they jump in and start swimming, because they think it is only another river to cross. And then, of course, they find that this river is much bigger than any of the others they have crossed before. They get tired and stop swimming and drown. The poor lemmings.
Dear students, I hope you enjoyed this listening activity and you got your answers correct also. Now we have another activity, that is writing. Let's write. Some information about tamarind tree is given in the table on the next page. Are you familiar with the tamarind tree? Study the information and write 2 or 3 paragraphs about the tamarind tree in your notebook. Very simple, you are going to write about a tree. Informations are provided. You could introduce the tree with these sentences. The tamarind tree is a large, handsome tree. It is an evergreen tree with spreading branches. Your description should follow the structure given in the next page. Remember, each paragraph should begin on a new line. The introduction should be there. Paragraph 1, the different parts of a tree. Paragraph 2, description of the different parts. Then paragraph 3, various uses of each part of the tree. Then conclusion, how the tree is impressive and beautiful with its main features and uses. Trunk thick and short, bark rough, black, covered with long cracks. Here the description, that is what is description I am reading right now. Leaves graceful, airy, each separated into many pairs of fringed stems, brilliant green at first, gradually turning to dark green. Then flowers, 3 Petaled pearl yellow with red veins hang together in small bunches around the leaves. Then fruit hang like long, thick, curved green beans, turns rust-colored as it ripens, dark brown, squarish seeds. Now uses. The use of fruit. Pulp of fruit has pleasant sharp taste, used in curries, chutneys, also to polish brass. Then seeds, boiled and ground, used as a flour by some people. Then wood, made into agriculture implements, used as fuel. Leaves, made into yellow dye for silks. Moss parts, used in medicinal tonics. So that is very useful also. In textbook, a format is in work out your ideas here, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. The space is not enough. You have to write it in your notebook, and you can take the photo of what you are writing and you could send to me. Dear students, now we move to worksheet 2 of our workbook. Worksheet 2 is the world of trees. In workbook, we normally see the continuation of grammar and activities we have done in the course book. First, we have grammar in use, articles. I've already seen articles in course book. The same thing we are going to see with more details in workbook. Let's study these sentences. Once there lived a king in Benares. The king was loved by all the people in the city. In the first sentence, we say a king because it is the first time we are talking about king. In the second sentence, we say the king because we now know which king is being referred to. As you know, a, an, and the are known as articles. A and an are called indefinite articles, while the is known as the definite article. Articles are used in the following cases. We use a or an before singular countable nouns. That's a lovely picture. Do you want an apple? We do not use articles before uncountable nouns such as accommodation, luggage, breath, and traffic. We are looking for accommodation, not an accommodation. That is wrong. I am going out to buy some bread or a loaf of bread, but not a bread. We use a or an when we are not being specific about the object of discussion. We use the when it is clear which object we are referring to. Shefali picked up a book. We don't know which book. Shefali picked up the book at the top of the pile. We know which book. We use the when there is only one of something. The earth goes round the sun. Usain Bolt was the fastest runner in the world. We use the before a noun when we mean something in particular. The film was good, but I didn't like the music. The music in the film, not the music in general. Fill in the blanks in the following dialogues with a, an, or the. Kumars have got a very fierce dog. B. How do you know? A. It bit dash postman and dash neighbor yesterday, and we haven't had any letters or visits since. 2. There is a dash letter for you. From whom? I think it is dash letter you have been waiting for. There are 5 activities. I will do first 1 and 2 for you. The Kumars have got a very fierce dog. How do you know? It bit the postman and a neighbor yesterday, and we haven't had any letters or visits since. There is a letter for you. From whom? I think it's the letter you have been waiting for. I hope you will do 3, 4 and 5. Now we move to next activity. Insert a, an or the in the following sports headlines. Sunil Chhetri scores dash hat-trick for India. India beat Germany in dash opening match of dash hockey World Cup. PV Sindhu wins dash women's badminton title. We saw dash improved performance from India today in dash World Cup. Reinforces dash throw in dash final. I have done 1 and 2 for you. 3, 4, 5 you have to do. Sunil Chhetri scores a hat-trick for India. India beat Germany in the opening match of the Hockey World Cup. Now, see, here are 3 sets of sentences. Put a tick against the sentences in which an article are used correctly and a cross against the ones in which they are not. Renu loves tea. That is correct. Renu loves a tea. That is wrong. Renu loves tea is correct, and Renu loves a tea is wrong. Renu loves the tea Zach makes. That's also the particular tea that Zach makes. That's also correct. We have 5 activity, many sentences, 3 each in every activity is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are there. 3 each sentences are there. 1 and 2 I'm going to do for you. Here everyone left meeting and everyone left a meeting and everyone left the meeting. Among them only one is correct. Everyone left the meeting. Second one, Sharon doesn't like to drink water. Sharon doesn't like to drink a water. Sharon doesn't like to drink the water in this canteen. In the second activity, 2 are correct. Sharon doesn't like to drink water is correct. And the second one is wrong. And last one, Sharon doesn't like to drink the water in this canteen. The rest of this activity you have to do. Don't worry, you do activity the way you understand. Definitely answer key will come to you. Then you can cross check the answers that you have made are correct or not. Now we move to the next grammar part that we have already seen in Coursebook here in detail. Reflexive pronouns. Words like myself, herself and themselves are called the reflexive pronouns. We already knew it. We use them when the object of the sentence is the same person or thing as the subject. An object and subject are same. Example, my grandmother often talks to herself. Talking herself. Reflexive pronouns are also used to emphasize, to say that person or thing and nobody or nothing else. Example, the students got a letter from the president himself. Study this table. I, myself. You, when it is singular, you have yourself. If it is plural, that's already given there. He, himself, she, herself. That they are singulars. Then it itself, we, ourselves. You, plural, yourselves. And they, themselves. Among them, I and we are first person. You, singular, and you, plural, they are second person. He, she, it, they are singular, third person, and they themselves is the third person, plural. Now we have an activity. D. Fill in the blanks with the reflexive pronouns myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, or themselves. The first one has been done for you. Vasu and Geeta have bought themselves a flat. Now there are 8 activities. Among them, 2 and 3 I will do for you. The rest you have to do. 2. Deepa has taught herself to play the guitar. How much time do you give yourself to cycle to school? I hope 4 to 8 you will try to do. Now we move to the next activity. Underline the correct answer in each sentence. The first one has been done for you. Here you have 6 sentences are there. 1 is done and 2 to 6 you have to do. The first one is like this. Rita likes looking at her or herself in the mirror. Herself is underlined, so that is the correct one. So 2 to 6 you have to do. Definitely answer quickly will come to you. Before that you have to, you take your own time and do it. You can do these activities in the workbook itself. Dear students, I hope today this much is enough. There are few more activities left in the workbook that we will do it with the next English class. You kindly take your own time and complete all these activities in the course book and workbook. Answer key of both will come to you. Then you can cross-check your answers whether they are correct or not. If any answers are mistaken, you can correct them. You will understand then. There are few activities left in worksheet 2. Those activities we will do along with the next English class. Until we meet in the next English class, take care. Thank you.